So last year I made that fine art project out of my leftover gabapentin that says, fuck you, Pfizer. Later I found out I should have put a P before the F in the potty mouth word, so just before I sent it to Pfizer, the Pfizer CEO, but I didn't know then to do that. But anyway, so I've been off of gabapentin 3.5 years. I should have never been on it to begin with. 90% of gabapentin is prescribed off-label to treat medical conditions for which there's no proof of efficacy, and it screws up people's brains. It's left me with 5 movement disorders, and I'm still lucky that I didn't get some of the other people have renal failure from it. Gabapentin was placed on the FDA watch list in 2012 for inducing a condition in people called rhabdomyolysis. How many people on gabapentin's doctors tell them that? None. Anyway, that being said, when I was decluttering, I came across the pill bottles. And I don't know why I held on to them, but I did. And there's some left in one. Apparently my art project, I didn't use them all up. I thought I had. And I'm going to throw these in the garbage now. It's just kind of symbolic. I'm lucky to be alive. By the time I got off, I was like a mid to late stage Alzheimer's patient. I shouldn't have been alive. My neighbor had not figured out what 16 doctors years of doctors had missed. I would be dead. And I was only weeks away from death, because I was going into respiratory failure. My central nervous system and my brain were shutting down. And she literally saved my life when she discovered it. So it's been an amazing journey. I honestly have come to the point where I would not change a thing despite all the movement disorders it's left me with and the brain damage, because I think that God in the universe saved the one with the great big mouth. And I still remember my mom and dad turning to each other when I was a kid and saying, "Oh, Jack, what are we going to do with that mouth? This is what Mom and Dad..." Anyway, so I started my YouTube channel warning people about the dangers of gabapentin and all the shady shenanigans that go on from the pharmaceutical industry. I know enough about this medication to stand toe-to-toe with anybody. I do, including physicians. I know a lot about it because, like any victim of something, you know what? If you're a rape victim, you do all your research you can on your rapist. You do the background checks and you find out anything in his history, and gabapentin is no different. It's what hurt me, so I have done my research into this drug. I know the politics, I know the shadiness, I know how corrupt the FDA is, and they're never going to stop selling it. All we can do is warn people or tell them how to taper off safely. Because even the tapering information on file with the FDA was written by a physician who did time in federal prison for falsifying his results into, among other things, gabapentin and Lyrica. I've never been able to find where his tapering information has been rescinded. So when your doctor, if they get their tapering information from the FDA, those protocols were written by a man who did prison time for falsifying his records. He even made up patients. So wrap your mind around that one. But anyway, so now it's time for me to throw these bottles away. I'll put the link to my channel, and I hashtag because I still hear from people about. The thing about gabapentin is your doctors will miss your side effects, your adverse side effects, or they will ascribe them to something else, and they won't ever tell you it's the medication, the gabapentin. They don't tell you. So I do a lot of educating about side effects, adverse effects actually they're called, because the doctors aren't going to tell you, but they will diagnose you with a new medical condition and give you additional drugs for that. Although really it's only treating side effects and adverse effects. So that's how the pharmaceutical industry, that's how modern medicine works. And that is why America is the third leading cause of death is medical error. And much of that is because of your physician prescribing you unsafe drugs. And if you go in and sometimes if you take all the information in about a drug, they still won't listen. They'll still, so you have to educate yourself. You have to be, what's the word? I have no short-term memory from this medication. But that's okay, I still know enough. What's the word where they, you'll be dismissed or minimized, or my central nervous system was shutting down by inches for 16 years. People took me in and said she acts like she had dementia, and they missed it all. That is not responsible prescribing. Gabapentin's never even been approved to treat migraines. There's no proof of efficacy that it even works, yet they prescribe it for everything. So anyway, I'm throwing these bottles of gabapentin, just the bottles, but there's a few in one. So I'm going to throw that away now. And I'm just bringing y'all to the garbage can with me as I do the symbolic act. I help people taper off of it safely now. And so I like to be there and support them and show them that they can do it too. So here we go in my garbage can. Well, I should have planned this out better. Here we go. And only to people who have been through gabapentin hell will you get and have survived it will understand the symbolism involved in throwing it in the garbage. So anyway, happy tapering. Watch out for big pharma. Watch out for what your doctor does. There's none of the neuroleptic drugs are going to really help people. I've done a lot of research on that, but I've learned they don't listen until it's too late often. But anyway, so okay. I hope everybody has a great Sunday. Happy tapering. Bye.